vehicles in May to mark President Tinubu's 1 year in office, considers buses, tricycles, and targets 1 million automobiles by 2027. And later on the show, Army captain abducted 6 soldiers and scores of local vigilantes killed by gunmen in Niger and Sokoto states. I will be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Gani Kayode Balogun. Journalist Hangout starts now. Now, as the race for the November 16th governorship election in Ondo State gathers momentum, the All Progressives Congress now has a candidate. The governor of Kogi State and chairman of the primary election organizing committee, Usman Ododo, declared the incumbent governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, as the winner of the party's primary. Governor Ayedatiwa scored 48,569 votes to defeat his closest challengers, Mayowa Akinfolari, who got 15,343 votes, and Olushola Oke, who polled 14,915 votes. Governor Ayedatiwa clinched 16 out of the 18 local government areas of the state. So Lucky Ayedatiwa is the flag bearer of APC for the election. Let's share that moment with you.
By the power conferred on the committee and in line with the APC guidelines for the nomination of candidates of the party in the general election, I, Ahmed Usman Ododo, the executive governor of Kogi State and the chairman of the committee and the returning officer of the Ondo State APC governorship primary election held on the 20th day of April 2024, hereby declare that Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa, having satisfied the requirement of the law and scored the highest number of lawful votes cast in the direct primary election conducted on the 20th day of April 2024 in Ondo State, is hereby returned elected, and he is declared the winner of the Ondo State APC governorship primary election in this day, 20th day of April 2024.
I therefore request that we all join hands together in building the future that we all yearn for in Ondo State. There is infrastructure to be built, better health services to be delivered, justice to be served, qualitative education to be ensured, civil servants to be trained and motivated, security of lives and property to be ensured, and the architecture strengthened, enabling business environment to be created for business to thrive and to also attract investors.
The governor of Ondo State, Lucky Ayedatiwa, speaking there. PKO, let's come to you on this. So, are you surprised with the outcome of the primaries, or you saw this coming?
Yeah, I definitely saw this coming. I knew we win, but I thought that Akintenewa will come second.
Why so?
Yeah, because it looked formidable, but sometimes some variables come in that can turn somebody capable of winning an election to and also run. So I thought that Akin Tenewa, former finance commissioner, will come second, but his performance was very poor. He didn't even feature in the top 4. I can't fully explain what happened, but people have told me that he was banking heavily on the support of the Team Hakiti, whereas the governor was looking for votes from everywhere. He patronized those who had not been patronized at all by the late governor for 7 years. He brought them closer. He patronized elements in the Akiti camp. He spread his tentacles wide to draw support from the different tendencies. I think also that Akin Folani, who came second with 15,343 votes, surprised me. The Minister of Interior was previously supporting him, but I think at the last minute he switched to the government.
Pull the plug, yeah.
The leadership of a party would want to see an incumbent governor get his ticket, because, look, the elections are still several months away.
Right.
And if the incumbent governor does not pick the ticket, you can't be sure that it will not work against the party. And if an incumbent works against the party with the resources at his disposal, you are in trouble. So they will try to do their best, rally support for the incumbent. After all, he has just 4 years before he goes to another zone. So I expected Aiyedatiwa to win. But frankly, I thought that Akin Tenewa will do much better, but it didn't even feature in the top 4. Aiyedatiwa came first, then Akin Folani second, and Olushola Oke third, and Jimoh Ibrahim fourth. Jimoh Ibrahim boasted on TV that none of the candidates can outspend him. I think he has seen now that it's not money alone that wins elections.
Right.
It is not wraparound alone that wins elections. You have to do
Much more than that.
and the people must trust you.
Absolutely.
And when you lose an election in this manner, getting just a fraction of the votes that the winner got,
9,000.
it sends a clear signal that the people do not trust you. Yes, the election may not have been perfect,
Right.
But at the end of the day, yes, there are protests here and there. We cannot dismiss those protests, but most elections in our country
Tend to go this way.
tend to go the same way. They are never perfect. We've not reached that point.
Right.
Now, the governor needs to do his best.
To unify everyone.
Yes, bring the aggrieved people closer. People like Olushola Okesan. He is strong. He has shown that he's strong. He defeated the governor in his local government. The governor lost 2 local governments. He defeated the governor in his local government. So that someone is a serial contestant. You have to try and bring him close.
Right.
Akin Folani, I'm really impressed. He was a 2-time House of Reps member, former Deputy Speaker of the Ondo State House of Assembly. He's contested elections 8 times and won 5 times. That's a good record, and it shows that his people like him. For him to come second in an election as keenly contested, as important as this, that means he's won for the future.
Right. GK, to have your own perspective on this now, BK will talk about unifying everybody so that they can have a common goal, a common purpose. What would you say should be the governor's, that's the incumbent, right, the flag bearer of the APC, what should be his approach to unifying all aggrieved members? Because some are already still claiming that the elections didn't hold. Some of them, their supporters didn't take part of the elections and all of that grievances. What do you think the governor can do to ensure every party is reconciled to a cause?
Well, this is the first step in a relay. It's not the governor yet. It's the governor right now. He's not being elected back to second term. So he's going to need every soldier in his party to do this. So he cannot afford to make enemies of those who have structures within the confines of the party. Of course, you and I know that 1 year can make a big difference, even 6 months, in the politics of his state. And we would have guessed that lucky the governor would have been the Ayedatiwa, would be the candidate of the party today. Just last year, even when Aketi was down. And people thought the Aketi team had everything wrapped up. This goes to show that most power structures are tied to individuals or ideals. Once the central point is no longer there, they normally tend to fizzle out. Because I wish some of them have spent more time on going to the people, like he said, people like Imo Brahim. People will have spent more time relating with the people on the grassroots than to start telling them what's the definition of strategies and how you can vote everybody how to make money. This, of course, is to be an eye-opener. Because, like I said, those who have spiritual inclination will tell you that this only God will determine who's going to be the next governor of the state.
Right.
And he has won the primary. His job now, like you asked, is this. As much as possible, because not everybody will come back on board. I want to guarantee that. Maybe you can get 70-80% of those who contested against him to come back to the fold and move together. Then all things being equal, able to win. But even having said that, the Ondo politics is always very, very dynamic. This is the only state in the last few years that have gone against the norm. Usually when they are picking candidates for the same thing applied to Aketi himself, when the structure of the party was for somebody else. So he must learn from history and then know that what happened to his predecessor will be a lesson to anybody. That simply because you have power today does not translate that power is finite. Along the line, something will happen.
Power is transient. Absolutely. Well, let's quickly move on to our next issue of discussion, where in the face of crisis, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has resolved to tread the path of reconciliation to bring the party back to the path of a vibrant opposition. In the spirit of no victor, no vanquished, the PDP acting national chairman, Umar Damagum, survived a scare and has continued in his position. Laying credence to this, the senator representing Benue South Senatorial District, Abba Muru, said the survival of Damagum as a PDP acting national chairman is not a matter of victory or defeat for any individual, but a collective decision made by stakeholders to push the party forward. Senator Moro, a setback for the former presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. He stressed that attributing the entire actions to Atiku and Wike is unfair, and the party comprises numerous members with diverse perspectives and motivations. BKO, I know we discussed this some weeks ago about the crisis in the PDP with asking for the resignation of Damagum, and now he has survived that, request. But going forward, do you see the PDP as an opposition? Because I know you talked about them being a party, that the future about the party is, neither here nor there, looking bleak. But with this position taken by Senator Moro, what's your thoughts on this?
Senator Moro was clearly saying the truth. Our people like to make a mountain out of a molehill. Wike does not control the PDP. Wike is a big factor in the PDP, agreed. But he cannot single-handedly take decisions, especially big decisions. In this case, once the National Caucus of the party, which is the main, most strategic organ of the party, sat and decided that they will not push the matter of Damagum's sack or replacement at the neck. I knew that his matter had been decided. I knew it would not be removed. That national caucus is made up of past and present leaders of the party. You cannot tell me that all of them in the national caucus are pro-Wike, for example. People know that Wike supports this national chairman, but he's not the only one who supports him. He's not the only one who brought him on board. Other people supported him. That's why he became acting chairman. And Wike cannot single-handedly remove him. That is the point. Once they came together, the National Caucus, ahead of the NEC, and they took that decision to say, look, the matter of leadership, we are not going to pursue it at the NEC meeting, which was held hours later. It was clear that this was where the power people within the party were going. Every party, every group usually has a group that are the big decision makers. The big decision makers that the rest of them will listen to, the most influential within the party. They are the ones who take the big decisions. Within the parties, for example, governors, whether it's APC or PDP, governors are the most influential. People have to just tag along the governors. Looking at APC, for example, it was the governors who decided that Oshomole had to go. The governors set up the caretaker committee, put their own colleague as chairman. It was also the governors who decided that no, that caretaker committee's time had to be extended. It was also the governor who said, look, caretaker committee chairman, your time is up. That's to tell you how strong governors were. Any big decision that the governors go against will not fly. So, and it is like that also in the PDP. The governors have influence. Other people too, the other people who have influence. So what Abamoro is simply saying is, look, the way things stand, you cannot attribute what happened to an individual.
Right.
It is wrong. I also agree that it's wrong. One tree does not
make a forest.
So even if you are strong within a party, you have to also get others to agree with you, to go with you. And that is what has happened. The party has resolved that Damagum will stay in office until August. That is their decision. They are going to have congresses and all that. And the people will determine the leadership of the party going forward. They will be products of that Congress. There will be delegates who emerge from those congresses that they are going to have, beginning from the world level. That is the structure. That's the way it should be. So they've merely said, okay, this matter we are not deciding it now. We leave it till August. Before August, there will be a lot of horse trading. There will be a lot of coming together to agree on the shape that their next national conference or NEC will take. Right. So maybe at that time they will decide to give someone else. Who knows? So but for now, that is the decision, and it's not one person's decision.
Right. GKB, your position on this, especially as the PDP is trying to unite itself as an opposition, do you see them getting that position, as it were?
I think what they are trying to do, or what they've done rather, is to push the ball further down
the road.
Basically to make sure they give themselves enough time. Because no matter what we say, the Nigerian media have tagged the meeting basically as Wiki, as an article. That was the tag. Doesn't mean it's true. So when they are coming back home to report, they are going to report along that line. But what the party has done basically is to buy itself some time, basically, and then to return the structure back to the original owners, which are the ordinary members of PDP. Of course, they are always the battle for the soul of parties. That's what I'm looking at in APC right now. people always find a way to control parties because they look at their own interest down the line. I think this is what really happened. So what they've done now, as far as I see, they've achieved two things. They've taken the party back. They've agreed that the chairman will come from North Central. Because don't forget, one of the points they were making was the fact that they said the allocation or the seeding of the chairman belonged to all the entire North. But now it's been streamlined and been brought down to North Central. So that to me is fundamental. And they've told the members, the caucus of North Central, to bring their own person. That means that whoever is standing out to control the party will not be a battle by proxy. Because somebody somewhere will still have to fund the campaign of whoever is going to emerge as the party chairman in August. But luckily, what they are doing now is that whatever is going to happen to the party will start at the ward level. So we are in for exciting times, even if it's going to be in opposition. That's what they are going to do now. They are going to go back home and then start from the smallest part and then grow it until they get to the chairman of the party. That to me is the only way to move forward. Because if they had gone one way or the other at this particular time, the crisis will have escalated beyond what they can do. So the party dodged the bullets and they kicked the ball down the road, which is okay politically. Because you and I know that 24 hours is a long time.
Absolutely.
In politics.
It is a long
So those
time.
who think are very strong today may not be in the same position tomorrow to influence the party as much as you think they can. Well, so we wait till August. God will spare our lives.
All right, let's quickly go on a very quick break. You're still on to Journalist Hangout. We'll have more discussions coming your way in just a moment. Just stay with us.
I actually came to pay the money for the recruitment consultancy you did for my company.
Beautiful.
I took 2 million.
Just hold on. I now collect dollars.
What?
Yes. I don't understand what's happening to Naira these days. So it's going to be 2 million times today's exchange rate.
Doctor, wait. Doctor, wait. Don't tell me you are one of those people who directly put pressure on the Naira and make it lose its value. You want to dollarize our economy and yet you pretend as if you don't know what is happening to the Naira. I've told you about how you abuse the Naira by spraying and stamping on it during your occasions. You deface and abuse the Naira as if it's not our national asset.
Chief, take it easy.
How? I will not take it easy. And neither will the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Task Force on Currency Abuse and Forex Malpractice. Take it easy with you. They are coming for you. Diseased from economic sabotage, or you will face the wrath of the law.
Right now, for most economists, creating jobs is how best to build a strong and vibrant economy. The renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu is poised to do that. And after forex reform to revive the Naira, the administration is pushing for job creation through transport reform. The federal government is set to launch about 2,700 compressed natural gas-powered buses and tricycles to mark 1 year in office of President Tinubu. The government is also set to deliver 100 conversion workshops and 60 refueling sites in 18 states before the end of this year. And these are parts of efforts to alleviate the pain that came with the removal of petrol subsidy. It can only get better. PKO, after long wait, finally the CNG buses will be here next month, May. How excited or are you about it?
This is what we should have done many years ago. If we had forward-looking governments, because one of the biggest calamities to befall us as a nation is bad leadership. There's no doubt. There are alternatives. The alternatives are much better, cleaner, safer for the environment. So why have we not
embraced this?
As I was told, compressed natural gas will come to like 200 naira per liter.
Wow.
Yes, it was cheaper than that before the devaluation of the currency. So even if what I told was not true, and it comes to 300 naira per liter, it is still cheaper for people. If I could run my generator, for example, on compressed natural gas, most of the time they don't give me lights. You know, I don't even know what band I belong in.
It's not bandits, right?
Yes, I don't. Most of the time, I don't. Yes,
you are bandless.
Well,
no bandits.
In sweltering heat, no light. Sometimes they bring the light when I'm here working. So how can I enjoy it when I'm here working and you are giving me light when I'm not at home? My wife has gone to a place of work. The children have gone to school. Who is enjoying it when you are bringing it? Yet you will still pay. Now, where I'm headed is government must release money, especially, you see, the finance minister is crucial to the successes of this government. Money has to be released on time. Because I am not happy that it's taking this long.
Oh, yeah.
Remember since when we talked about this, and even the NLC made a lot of issues out of this. They were not impressed with the snail speed. You've got to roll these things out. Roll them out quickly. Long buses. I saw some buses, the first set of CNG buses that were released. Some of them are, taken to National Assembly. Some were taken to River State and all that. Beautiful, long buses. Ogun State was one of the states to pioneer this. But I think they've seen now that our people will prefer smaller vehicles because those long buses, the people don't want to waste so much time waiting. You put it on maybe the Songo route, for example, Abeokuta to Songo. The people can't wait. They are seeing smaller vehicles, cars that will get filled up in no time. They would rather go there. So, and these ones are cheaper, but because they can't wait, time is money. So because they can't wait, they are not taking full advantage of it. So government has to think, when you're coming up with a program, what do we do to ensure that the people take to it effectively? I'm happy that at least we've started. It's all about money. The value of the currency now means that even what we set aside for this project will not be enough. It's commonsensical, it's clear. Remember when this was announced, the currency wasn't this week. So we have to set aside more money. We have to bring these things in. Whatever we will do to ease the pains on our people, that's what government should be thinking about 24/7. Every minute of the day, you must be switched on as a government to think, what can we do? How do we get these things in so that our people can benefit? Look at what the capacity governor of Borno State, look at what he's doing. He's brought in electric cars, 50 naira per ride. You can imagine if we have 50 naira vehicles where the people are paying 50 naira in Lagos. You don't know the difference that will make.
Big one.
The queue, even you will not find. You will not even. People will give themselves elbows just to enter. Some will look for head boots. You know, the kind of head boots that those boys, after taking Colorado, will be hitting their heads against poles. And I'm wondering, are these human beings?
Obviously, their bodies have disappeared.
They become goats. Once you take the Colorado, you turn to a goat. Because it's a goat that...
it's the wall.
You are not booting NEPA pole.
Just for the fun.
Are you human? You know? Well, may God deliver them.
Amen.
So, this thing should have come earlier.
Right.
Now, the exchange rate has made a mess of even the budget for it.
Every projection.
So you have to bring in more. I'm confident in the man heading the team, Michael Oluwagbemi, is a US-trained engineer, young man, very knowledgeable in many areas. So it's a good decision that the president has made to make him head the team that will deliver this. And he knows that as a young man, that other young people are watching. He knows that he has to succeed. Young people in this administration, their mates are watching them. Do you want to fail like the old men? You have to make a difference. This is his chance. But I know he can't do it alone. That's why I'm saying, Minister Wale Edun, get money released in good time. When you don't release money in good time, inflation steps in. Naira devaluation steps in. You know?
Makes no sense.
And at the end of the day, what we want to achieve would be diminished by the fact that money doesn't get released on time. So it's a good thing, and I know that the more we create those workshops and the service centers, working with NIPCO, creating those service centers, it will help. You are going to Ibadan, for example. There should be some along that route. You simply go, fill your tank and move. You know, and it's cheaper and cleaner.
Yeah, cleaner indeed. GKB, this is something that we should have long embraced, according to what BKO said. But then again, they're talking about having these as strategic points. My concern is these sites, will they really serve the purpose? Would we have the infrastructure to accommodate such? Because I might not know the modalities, you know, how this will be put in place, what goes in and what doesn't go in. Yeah. So do you think perhaps we are well, let's say, advanced, or we have that infrastructure to accommodate this kind of, let's say, novel way of transport in our system?
We have no choice in the matter. Every day our population go up. Every day we need mouths to feed. And so when we are doing something new like this, my fear is not the introduction. My fear is that at the point that we've now come to rely on this particular technology, and then the cost will become astronomical, like it's happening to cooking gas. Because remember when they were trying to win us off kerosene? The promise were that it's cheaper, it's cleaner, things will be done.
It was cheaper than kerosene.
But now,
kerosene is more expensive.
But now the cost of cooking gas is through the roof.
Yeah, through the roof, yeah, absolutely.
And so a lot of people in the rural areas are reverting back to
charcoal.
And charcoal. Even I know a school that is now trying to advertise the one we use in body house now.
Ironing.
Charcoal iron, because they have no choice in the matter. Things are really that bad. That's my fear. Because knowing the Nigerian mentality, everybody will move here now. They've provided, according to them, 2,700. That would not be enough. Because I know our people, the moment they see the advantage of this, they will move massively. And I think in Lagos alone, there are about, according to records, about 1 million drivers. I'm not even talking cars. Cars will be around 10, 20 million. So imagine the level of stations you have to build. And not Lagos-Ibadan alone. The Lagos-Ibadan road is divided into two. It's what I call the rural area from Ajabo down to Chagamu, and then Chagamu down to Lagos. The traffic between Isheri and Chagamu interchange alone will require nothing less than 20 of these things on that
stretch of
50 kilometer alone, between Isheri and Chagamu interchange. Because I was looking at the number and I was trying to imagine if vehicles going to the east, these long vehicles using CNG, and they are moving. Let's say we know they move an average of 200, 300 a day. Imagine the number of times they will need to refill. And then don't even forget the Shagamu Benin, which is even longer than the one I've listed. That one is about 300 kilometers, I think. So we need far more than this. You and I know that the traffic between Lagos and Ibadan is actually about 60% of the entire traffic in Nigeria. So if you are going to do a good job,
do it well.
Do it well enough to try to project what we will need in 5 years. It's like Lagos-Ibadan road itself is already obsolete. And they just finished it. When they planned it, they were looking at things like this. But today, the houses have reached Shagamu. So So the only place left now between you and I is between Shagamu and Ajebo. And if you are planning to down, they plan 2 lanes for them. So in 10 years, that will be obsolete. By the time they start again, they will require 12 lanes again. That's the problem he was trying to do about leadership. We look at today. We look at things that we need today. No serious government does that.
Right.
You look at what we need in 20 years.
Visionary.
What we need in 30 years.
Right.
How people have to grow. Because I keep telling people, if you are not careful, Lagos will soon be a slum. Because people moving to Lagos about 1 million a day.
And most of them don't go back.
They don't go back, about 98%. So you cannot keep pretending you are going to start building smaller roads or doing smaller things. No. You must project that Lagos you are looking at is looking, New York is only 9 million, but Tokyo is about 42 million. And what Lagos will be, Lagos already officially 20 million. So we are looking in the next 10 years with the desert coming down. We are looking at Lagos of 30 million. And when I'm talking about Lagos, I'm talking about Greater Lagos, Otomowe, all those areas. And yet you are not making provision for that. You think you've done well today by sitting here because I provided for these people. That's what he's trying to say. Leadership is a problem when it comes to projections. Lagos Ibadan should be a 12-lane road as we are speaking. 12 lanes.
You know, the Americans designed roads to the point that even when war breaks out, aircraft can land on
Land, yeah.
You know, in critical emergency situations, the aircraft will land. You know, so because this is wide enough
And it's smooth enough.
and very strong, you know, very well compacted and all that. I think that we need to roll out those workshops, those refueling centers. We need to roll out as many as possible because once our people take to it, you will see an incremental patronage of those workshops. That is a big challenge, and I'm happy that they are working with private concerns to build those workshops, those service centers, you know, because government simply can't do this alone. The involvement of the private sector in this will help us achieve greater efficiency and professionalism, because everyone knows how government business is handled. So the projection of 1 million CNG vehicles by 2027 is a very ambitious one. But let's even take those baby steps one at a time. So, and all eyes will be on them once they launch this. I'm looking forward to May 29 because some people believe this government has not done anything. But we will see some announcements because some of the things they are doing are not properly
articulated.
Properly projected. Projected for people to know. So someone like Wike, for example, he has big plans for May 29. Very soon, the light rail in Abuja too will start working. He's committed to that. And anyone who goes to Abuja now knows that Wike has really made the difference within so short a time. They didn't just name him Mr. Infrastructure for anything. Abuja, the landscape is changing rapidly. People resident in Abuja will testify to that. Even me, occasionally when I go, I see things now that were not there, especially in the Asokoro area. What Wike needs to focus on now are those satellite towns. Because when we talk about FCT is not Abuja alone.
Right.
You know, there are some of them who are complaining. Once you've dealt with the issues in the metropolis, go into those satellite towns and give them what they want. Thankfully, security is getting a little better. At least the noise about insecurity was not like 2 months ago. So security getting better will also enable growth and development.
And so finally, to leave this now, GKB, I know that we are optimistic or anticipating better days ahead with this transport system being rolled out by the present government. But what other proposals would you make apart from CNG buses? We're talking about, you're talking about visionary leaders now. Let's think of what would you propose as alternative options to our transport system aside from CNG? What do you think the government needs to do?
Not necessarily alternative, but complementary. Personally, I thought that by now, it's already late for our generation. I thought by now there will be a train system that will link our ports with our capital.
Right.
Yes.
That's fundamental.
That's the ideal.
It may be late for our generation, but I hope the generation of our children will be able to achieve this. Lagos to Abuja should be by fast train, minimum of 3-4 hours.
Right.
That means I should be able to take the train, fast one.
Yes.
And go to Abuja.
For no appointments. Even early morning appointment.
Yeah. You could be from Ishari up to City Gates. Then you find your level. Between Mombasa and Nairobi, it's roughly the same distance. But what they did in Kenya was to build one singular road from their ports to their capital. You can Google it. It's almost a straight road.
Wow.
It was deliberate. Now, once you hit that road, you are going straight to the capital. We should do that. We should have a road that says Lagos, Abuja. Do the shortcuts. Do the whatever you have to do. Remove towns that are in the way. Just look at the map and cut away so that once I hit that road,
You get into the capital.
I'm going to Abuja or coming to Lagos.
Right.
As the case may be. You don't have to go through Ondo, go through Kogi, all those small towns.
That
to me is the ultimate, because the idea of a centralized capital is fine. But those who planned it didn't think of what will happen between our ports. Forget that Lagos was capital. Our ports and our capital.
And the good thing is Abuja is the second fastest growing city in Nigeria after Lagos. It's rapidly growing, and it will continue to grow. So plans have to be made for it.
Right.
We shouldn't have another Lagos on our hands. Abuja should remain the beautiful city that it is, well planned and ready to accommodate as many
and a lot of exits.
People
a lot of exits to be created.
New towns.
Right.
Build new towns, for the deluge of people that will be coming in. And by the time we link it with rail transport, you can project that it will even welcome a lot more people.
Absolutely. Well, let's leave that discussion and move on to our next issue of focus, where at a time Nigeria is still grappling with the killing of soldiers in the Okwama community of Delta State. Another set of soldiers have died in an ambush. About 6 soldiers and some local vigilantes have been reportedly killed by terrorists in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. And this happened in a bloody confrontation between vigilantes and terrorists at Gada Weekly Market in the state. GKB, we just talked about, well, not this episode, some weeks ago, about the killing of soldiers, and it's seeming like, would I say, a usual thing where security forces are being gunned down, and it seems like those who are perpetrating this crime have been left, on the loose. What do you make of this?
It's unfortunate that we are still where we are a couple of years ago. Personally, I thought that by now, with the change in leadership at the very top, change in leadership at NSA, change in leadership at the Army, that things will have gone beyond this. Because you and I know that in most countries that really are serious, they don't let these things go like this. They don't care the consequences. They don't care the collateral damage. A point must be made that you can simply kill our soldiers and go scot-free. It's not done in any serious civilized country. Because once it starts like this, the only reason why you have power is for the security of our lives and properties. That's why we ceded some of our rights to government. Take some of our rights, protect us. Because if this continues and the face of that security are gone down like chicken and nothing happens, I can guarantee you Somalia is beckoning. Because Nigerians know how to copy. Once they see that this is happening and nothing is happening, nobody is paying the price, there are no consequences.
For action.
We continue along the path. Because like you said, sooner or later it will become normal to hear in the news the officers have been gone down and we've lost. It's unfortunate. I know they're trying their best. I know they've recorded successes all over the north. I'm not going to take that away from them. But it doesn't take away the fact that once in a while, things like this should not be allowed to happen. Because without really protecting those who put their lives on the line or revenging them, as my people will call it, then what are they dying for? They only die in vain.
BK, what's your position on this matter?
You know that area, the Shiroro area, Niger State is a big problem. There are many local governments, between 8 to 10 local governments, where bandits
In control.
and terrorists are in control. Let me say, very active. Let me not use the word control. Very active. Rafi, local government. Magama, Rijau, which borders Kebi. This Shiroro. The army has come under attack so many times because in this Shiroro there are elements who used to be active Boko Haram fighters who are now operating in that area, because before Shekau died, he actually sent his men to Niger State. In fact, I remember the last Salah before his death, he published pictures of his men on Salah Day inside the forest in Niger. That was where I knew that these people had spread their tentacles beyond the northeast. And there were people who were denying that no, Boko Haram has not gone beyond the northeast. You see, propaganda, you can do so much propaganda. But at the end of the day, you are wasting your time, because the truth is by nature self-evident.
Yeah.
Bandit leaders like Dogo Gide, for example, are known to work with Boko Haram fighters. Engage them, they do some of the work together. That is why you see the sophistication of some of the bandit attacks. They cannot execute that level of sophistication on their own. The attack on government secondary school, science secondary school, Kankara, was executed with Shekau's involvement. In fact, Shekau, at a point, wanted the two bandit leaders that he worked with to transfer the boys to him. And they told him that that is a logistical waste of time, because how do you move the boys all the way from the northwest to the northeast?
To Niger.
Then the government was negotiating with one of the two. At the end of the day, government successfully negotiated the release of those boys. The point that I'm making is, in this same north central, in this Niger state, they shot down our aircraft. It was this same bandits. You know, and I'm saying the more they work together, the greater their chances of success, because the bombardment that those guys were facing in the northeast is one reason many of them decided that, okay, let's come down to the north central. Of course, even the kidnapping of those train passengers on March 28, 2022, it was executed with Boko Haram involvement. The attack on Kuje prison, as we have now seen, was executed with Boko Haram involvement. So they are not localized in the northeast alone. People should stop simply thinking, Boko Haram
It's a local problem.
is the north. They've moved to the north central. Remember the killings in Owo. The killings in that church in Owo. It was Boko Haram elements that executed it.
The north central, yeah.
So we have a real problem, a big problem on our hands. we've got to realize that the enemy is not relenting. The enemy is becoming more sophisticated. The enemy has resources. People can kidnap train passengers. As many as they were, they packed them into the forest and they got hefty ransom. You know they have money to buy weapons from the black market. One bandit was even boasting in the northwest about armor personnel carrier that he bought from the black market. Those who thought it made sense to fight Gaddafi the way they did, they created problems for us.
Serious problem all over Africa.
Because the fall of Gaddafi.
Libya, yeah.
So the rise of ISIS, Uncle.
And
the
cheap weapons from that side. And some of the weapons coming in through Libya, coming into Chad, Niger. A lot of them are NATO-grade weapons. Because when those troops were retreating, the NATO people, their weapons were inherited. Yeah. Some of the weapons that the Nigerian army seized from Boko Haram had NATO written on them. And when you see some of the weapons, you know as a soldier that these weapons are not in our inventory.
Right.
So you know that these are weapons that they used over there.
In another theater, yeah.
You have access to them, they buy them. The black market. Niger Republic, as I always say, is like a failed state. Many parts of Niger Republic, there's no government.
So what can we do to address or nip this in the bud? Because we're talking about our personnel being lost, their lives being lost on a daily basis by these terrorists.
We have to do something about illicit weapons, the way they come into our country.
Right.
They come through the waterways. Even in Kebbi State, through River Niger, they bring in these weapons. We share border with Niger Republic from Kebbi in the northwest down to Yobe in the north.
It's very long, but
we have extensive borders with them. Our border with Chad is a very small one. The land border, very, very small. But with Niger, cutting across more than 6 states is a big problem. Right. And these weapons are coming in. They're coming in. We've not found a way. Our borders are porous. And in areas where Boko Haram is strong, especially in Borno State, who is going, because they still hold on to some parts of Borno State. Don't be deceived. So in those places, how do you confront them? Those places are even largely unmanned. Some of those border communities unmanned by security, whether it's immigration or custom. So these things come in.
Right.
We have to find a way to stop these illicit weapons from coming in.
Right.
The rate at which they are coming into our country and coming even with military weapons, military uniform.
Camouflage.
That is what they wear.
Well, let's leave it at that because we cannot continue this conversation. Although it might need more analysis, but we hope to get this discussed in another episode. Thank you so much, my colleagues in the studio, Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Gani Kayode Balogun. We thank you for your insights on the program this evening. Well, that's it, folks, on today's edition of Journalist Hangout. Join us again tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can also watch a repeat broadcast of the show tonight at 11. Join us again on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Esther Makwariela. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
Now where they come from? For inside this hot sun.
Antenatal enter market.
I happy well for this clinic where they go. It is very important for the baby.
Not true. It go make me dey safe. Me and my baby where they carry for my belly.
That means everybody, plus including pikin, so where they inside belly, go collect vaccine.
Today, I collect vaccine for tetanus. I collect vaccine for COVID. And those vaccines, now them go take care of my baby and me myself. And now I can't know say he get vaccine for pikin them separately, and he get the one for pregnant women like me. I dey follow who no rule.
Women when get belle supposed to collect them COVID and tetanus vaccine. They protect them and them pikin for belle from infection. Waka go any health center or call 7722 for more information.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Tired of pans that scratch and stick? Or cookware that takes up valuable space in your kitchen and are of little to no use? Cooking used to be fun, but now it just feels like a chore. Introducing ShopX Gotham Hammered Copper Collection, the perfect cookware to upgrade your cooking experience. The Gotham Hammered Copper Collection features a super durable ultra non-stick surface. Eggs stick to other pans, but with the Hammered Copper Collection, they slide right out. Incredible! Plus, the Cool Touch solid cast handle makes it safe and easy to cook even the hottest dishes. It's oven safe up to 500 degrees, so bake this beautiful chicken stew pizza and serve it straight from the pan. Or this tasty delicious cake that will have your whole family asking for more. Any recipe can be made in these pans, and then it wipes clean with ease, so cleanup is a breeze. Plus, use your hammered copper pan to make homemade pancakes that flips and slips right out. Or make mouth-watering jollof rice or even fluffy pounder with ease, because nothing sticks.
I knew the culprit to keep up with me. The Gotham Hammered Collection has been a game changer. No more burnt meals or hours spent scrubbing pots.
It's a paid presentation from ShopX TV.
Stay ahead with the biggest news stories. Go beyond the news headlines. Experience impactful investigations. Enjoy resourceful news coverage in real time. TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. Live every day on this channel. TVC News. First with breaking news. At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
You're watching Beyond 100 Days with Abosede Adeniran. Do join the conversation now on X using the hashtag Beyond 100 Days and tag at TVC News.